Hello and welcome to episode 92 of the DaebakCast. This is a weekly podcast where the three of us come together each week to talk about K-pop and whatever's current in the industry. This episode we got two reviews, one of which being kind of special, which I'm excited for. One of them being something brand new, which I'm sure you're probably anticipating our review for as well.
The overlay kind of spoils it, but whatever.
Yeah, whatever. Anyways. So you already knew what the first one was. Anyways, and then the second two topics are actual topics this time. We're trying to get back into doing more like discussion topics and stuff like that, like we used to do. When we
also, there aren't any albums to review because everyone it's like single album season. There's so many single albums I want to talk about, but
yeah.
I think there's one single album that all of us want to talk about in particular, but. I mean, we really could have, but...
Yeah, but...
That's fine.
Anyways.
We'll talk about it during releases.
I guess I won't delay any further. As always, I'm joined by Nate.
You make my life complete. I'm pretty sure I've used that before, but I don't care.
Doesn't matter.
It's special.
It works. It's okay.
And you already wasted the queso line from last
Yeah, exactly. I already
week.
wasted the queso line last week, so
yeah.
I can't use that.
Also, as always, I'm joined by Andrew, who usually has three things, and also I noticed his background is actually black this week. Entirely black.
Number one. Thank God. Okay, but the Red Sox beat the Yankees in their ALDS series, which has led us to a ultimate showdown between the Red Sox and the Astros. And Jacob and I have a bet going on that the winner of the series, or depending on who wins the series, the loser has to wear the opposite team's hat. That being said,
on the podcast.
On the podcast. That being said, I really don't mind.
I don't mind either because I own a Red Sox hat already.
Yeah. No,
actually, I think I wore it in a lot of the first episodes we recorded. So.
Yeah. So like the early podcast episodes I remember, and I have an old Astros hat somewhere, but I don't think it fits me anymore, and I don't know where it is. So
it's fine. It'd be really funny you wearing like a baby Astros hat.
I'll have to find it first. Again, that was like the last time I saw it was like 2 moves ago, so it's probably gone by now. Anyway, yeah, it's gonna be a great series, and there's a chance that if it goes to six games, I might go to Game 6. I might go.
That'd be so cool.
I might YOLO it and just like take a train up to Boston and go see the game because I might have to, so we'll see. Number two, I recently saw the Ryan Gosling movie First Man about the Apollo moon landings, and Ryan Gosling was playing Neil Armstrong. Great movie. I saw it in IMAX, and just like my mind was just blown when they got to the moon and everything, and like they really used the IMAX aspect ratio to its full degree, so I was really happy about that. And number three, I know I talk about shoes way too much on this show, but I feel like this has to be one of the most important like shoe W's I've taken.
I mean, shoes are literally your life, so
yeah, shoes are literally my life. But
until K-pop shoes happen, then yeah, sure, this works.
I had to pay way too much for this, unfortunately, but I was able to secure a pair of Frieza Adidas Young One shoes in my size.
I gotta cut you off for a second though. For how much you like shoes, you don't pronounce it right. You don't pronounce it Adidas.
No, it's
Adidas.
No, unless you're like really German. Like only Germans pronounce it Adidas. Like theoretically, it is supposed to be Adidas because
I was gonna say that's the correct pronunciation.
Yeah, because it's named after Adi Dassler, but most people just say Adidas.
Yeah,
and besides, I'm just going by Run DMC. Run DMC calls it my Adidas. So anyway, yeah, I was super happy I was able to get a pair of these. I mean, I had to pay resale on it, but I'm just really happy. I know you guys appreciate the Dragon Ball Z-ness of it more than I would, but I'm still happy, and there's way more coming out, so I just hope my luck continues. Also, I guess just a fourth sort of thing to mention. We still have our giveaway going on. I don't think we got any comments.
No, I think we actually lost a sub on Friday. So
I'm sorry. But, yep, like I said, This is still up for grabs.
So we got a lot of Twitter interaction, but nobody actually followed the instructions.
Yeah, so I might have to clarify instructions or simplify instructions. So yeah, you can still win these BTS ID cards and this awesome pencil case that is done by Reitz, aka Alpha Sasuke on Twitter. So we have the instructions laid out on our Twitter, and it's in the last week's video if you wanted to enter and potentially win this, because I will literally send this anywhere in the world, as long as anywhere in the world isn't Antarctica or something like that. I don't know, if you're like a random climate researcher living in Antarctica listening to our podcast, I'm sorry, I don't know how does mail even get to Antarctica now that I think
you can mail stuff there.
You can mail stuff to the North Pole.
Yeah.
It probably costs a shit ton to mail it there.
Yeah, probably.
Okay, but we'll figure that if someone from Antarctica actually listens to our podcast, let us know. But, yep, still up for grabs. And that's my 3 things. Jacob, do you have your blown out?
I do. However,
Hashtag
I'm just not going to do it anymore. It's been too long.
Hashtag blown out. Blow no note. That's what I just said.
Hashtag there exists a blown out such that I'm not going to read out of it anymore. Because, honestly, go and buy blown out. Buy both copies. Although I need to get the Korean version.
I was going to say, you don't even have both copies. You can get it when you're in Korea.
Yeah. Anyways, without further ado, we can get into the first review, which is NCT. Regular-Irregular.
127. NCT 127. You got to clarify. There's more than one NCT.
Yeah, especially now.
Yeah, but remember, nobody knows what NCT is, so it's
yeah, that's
fine.
True. NCT 127's Regular-Irregular album. And to start it off, we have City 127. And this, along with a couple other songs on the album, sound like a SHINee song with NCT rappers featuring.
Yeah.
And it's amazing.
Honestly,
I love...
actually, I'll just say it later.
You'll save it.
Go on.
But yeah, I was just say, I love the vocal effects during the singing. There's some great harmonies. And I actually liked the whistle. That I thought it added a nice touch to this song.
You could just say this as a general sort of thing for the album, but I'm just kind of, because NCT is kind of known just for their rappers. To be completely honest, everyone, maybe it's just because SM's not known for having rappers at all that people kind of forget.
Well, yeah, and
they're good.
Well,
so
yeah, and their singles have all been hip hop, except for Touch. Every single one of them has been hardcore hip hop.
Yeah, so it's kind of a surprise that it feels like 90% of this album is just almost focused exclusively on vocals to some degree. So yeah, it was a really shocking sort of direction for them to go in, but I enjoyed it. This one was produced by the world famous Grammy Award winning Stereotypes. So
which explains what sounds like SHINee.
Yeah, which explains a lot of things on this album. Honestly, just a lot of really good production. So yeah, the piano beat is great on this. And again, I always applaud the Stereotypes for being able to work like chameleons and tailor their production style to each of the groups. Whether they're working with Western artists, whether they're working with K-pop, they're always good at working in conjunction as opposed to taking over the song necessarily. And yeah, and again, I really enjoyed it. It's a great intro track, and again, I love that they're showing NCT's just really good at showing us different sides, and nothing's ever really around long enough to get stale. So I really enjoyed just the direction this entire album went with, especially.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, honestly, for me, it almost feels like some kind of successor to Yesterday on their last Empathy album, NCT U, or NCT 2018.
There's a lot of songs that feel there's a lot of songs in this album that definitely feel similar in that vein, right?
Yeah, and that's definitely a compliment, because Yesterday was it's one of my favorites, easily one of my favorite songs on the Empathy album. So yeah, I was glad to see this sort of style. And I love the R&B style vocals, but that's definitely something that's sort of a trademark of the Stereotypes, is that they really love going back to this sort of 90s, early 2000s R&B. So yeah, I thought it was a really, really good way to start the album out.
Yeah, same. Next we have Regular. We'll talk about both Korean and English versions here. This is the title track. So yeah, this is going back to their like hip hop style singles, kind of throwing touch out the window. I think it's their second worst single after Fire Truck. It's not nearly as bad as Fire Truck.
Yeah, no, I didn't hate this as much as
it doesn't like hit the hype levels that like Cherry Bomb or Limitless hit. And I really like Touch actually, and I hope they do more of that style. The MV is kind of ridiculous. It's just like so, I don't know, just all over the place. But I think the choreo is really good. And then the English version's just a much, much worse version of the song because the lyrics are atrocious. But other than that, it's okay. It's one of the weakest songs on the album for sure, which is funny because I think the weakest songs on the album are the hip hop songs.
Like yeah, which is an interesting sort of take.
Yeah, exactly. And so yeah, but I do think it's good. Compared to everything else on this album, which is like utterly amazing, it's a little weak.
Yeah, I'd say that the Korean version ended up saving it a bit, not necessarily just because of our familiarity with the lyrics or just like the content of the lyrics necessarily. It just kind of feels like not all of them are comfortable rapping or singing in English just yet, so just like the flow of it's kind of off, and it's understandable. I'm sure they probably only like spurred the English version on them recently once they were able to secure the Jimmy Kimmel appearance. So I mean, it's an interesting marketing strategy for them. It clearly says something about SM's intentions that they released the English version of the song first, and they debuted before even going on any like M Countdown or like Music Bank or any other music shows in Korea. They debuted the song in America first. So again, that's very telling of what SM wants to do with NCT from now on. NCT wants their, or SM basically wants their slice of the BTS pie. It's very clear by making this type of move. And I mean, granted, they've been burned before. They've tried to get Boa into the U.S. market. They've tried to get Soshi into the U.S. market with varying or middling success. But maybe a group, again, NCT already seems to have an established fan base over here in the U.S. and this type of music, or I feel like the decision to make this like sort of like a Latin infused trap song might be why they sort of went with, or why they thought of going with an English version first and foremost, just because I feel like this is clearly inspired by the type of music that's coming out here in America lately, and most specifically like the stuff that Cardi B is putting out. Like it's straight up like inspired by Cardi B's I Like That. So yeah, it's something that's obviously going to do well in the American market. So that's definitely why they decided to release it here in America first. That being said, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily put it as like their best single, but I don't hate it exactly. Yeah. If anything, again, I do, like I said before, I do appreciate NCT's SM's willingness to make NCT truly an experimental group where nothing is ever really touched upon more than once, or just it always stays fresh, which is a nice aspect of it. And that's my one complaint when it comes to K-pop, is that a lot of groups just stagnate over a while. So I don't really have that problem with NCT. Obviously, I guess probably the weakest part of it would probably be the chorus. Just it doesn't really go anywhere, and it's something that's definitely exacerbated by the English version, where I feel like the flow is just completely dead in that version. That being said, I really loved the visuals of it. And again, I know it's kind of ridiculous and just like really over the top even for a hip hop style song, but I love the visuals, especially that one part with like Market and Taeyong when they're doing like their rap interlude, and it's just straight up like they went straight up La La Land with like all these like random like light points of light in the background, and it's like all this CG stuff and like fast moving cameras and everything. So it was really cool. It was a really cool music video that they were able to put together, and I still love that they were able to secure a performance on Jimmy Kimmel, because that's huge. Again, like getting, if it's just BTS doing it from now until the end of time, K-pop's never gonna break, because they're gonna get sick and tired of one group doing it over and over again. So it's a sign of good things to come, honestly, that that SM's willing to put NCT out there like that.
Yeah, so when I first heard the song with the English version coming out first, I was I honestly, like, straight up, I hated this song. Like, I like absolutely hated it, and I even said in Discord it's a bad song. Like, I just didn't like it. Like, just the generic. It just seemed like a generic hip hop song that I've heard 100 times, and like, what made it worse was it had even worse lyrics than like their songs normally do.
Yeah.
So like, I'm not here for it. However, the Korean version of the song I think is much better, and I think it saves it.
Yeah, 100%.
Like significantly saves it, because I don't know. I haven't looked at like what the translations are on the Korean lyrics. I don't know if they're actually better.
They're
like,
better. They're a little better. Yeah.
But yeah, like I think the Korean version served it a lot better, and so yeah, that being said, I'm still not a huge fan. I still would agree it's like one of their worst. So yeah, I think this was like, honestly, like, just pick any other song on this album to be the title track.
Yeah, I would totally agree with you on that, just because, not necessarily because I think this one's bad, it's just that a lot of the album tracks on this are just insanely good. So
yeah,
again, I feel like a lot of it was just their marketing push to get them in America, and I don't think like a central R&B song is what's gonna help them break into that market. So
yeah. Next we have Replay at 1:27 p.m. And this is a deep house song.
The Shiny song.
It's a cover of a Shiny song.
It's a cover of the Shiny song.
Slash the actual
Nuna no Moyepa.
Slash the time of day or time on the clock. I don't know.
But this is a deep house song, and I was really happy to hear that. But it's cool because like the openings and the bridge are like almost a ballad. Which like I thought was a really cool way to intro into a deep house song. Vocals on the song are amazing. The synths obviously on this whole song are just exactly what I want, exactly the type of music I love listening to. So this, along with one other song, are my favorite song. I actually couldn't pick. But yeah, I loved everything about the song.
Same. I mean, you didn't need to tell me that London Noise produced it for me to be able to tell that London Noise produced it. I'm just like, oh, the first time I heard the drop, I was like, oh, that's London Noise. This is totally a song I could see them trying to market here in America, and I think this should have been title track. I want this song to get an MV so bad, just because I think the choreography for this would be insane. Like, just house choreography is just awesome in general. So, just like, man, they're really killing it with just like all the producers they're getting on this one album. So we'll get into that later even more. But they do. London Noise does a good job of sort of using, I think, NCT 127's signature traits over their past few songs, or over their singles, has been like the group chorus vocal sort of thing. We've heard it in Limitless, we heard it in Cherry Bomb. So
I think that's an SM strength.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah.
They make good use of that in this, and like it's something that definitely fits for a deep house style. And again, just like the vocals on this song are just great, which again, it's really weird for me to sort of praise the vocals as opposed to just the rapping when it comes to a 127 song, because I feel like 127 is always the one that's going to stick to, or at least when it first started out, 127 was just the one that stuck to like hip hop, always. And yeah, it's cool to see just how versatile that they're willing to make the groups, and again, just they're not going to sort of box them into one style necessarily, because again, with how many members cross over between the groups, because I mean, we're eventually going to get more Dream members into 127 sooner or later. So yeah, it's good to just keep them just nimble and versatile in terms of the styling concept of the songs.
Yeah, so like this is like instantly out of the playbook of the Shiny Story of Light album. Like if this were on there, would not have like stood out. Well, not that it wouldn't have stood out because it's not good, but it would have fit right in, I guess.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, I really, really like this. I think this is definitely one of my favorites on the album for sure. And I think this should have been the single that they promoted, because I think this would have stuck with Americans, and it's really good. And also, it's just like, I feel like this is still a marketable song, like anywhere, Korea, America. You know,
definitely.
you know. Whereas I feel like regular is like, it's kind of polarizing, to be honest.
Yeah,
I feel like it's going to be when you use that type of hip hop, I guess.
Yeah.
Not everybody's into it. Like, I'm personally not, but like some people, like, they're perfectly fine with that kind of thing. So yeah.
They've never given NCT more than one music video though, or more than one single, correct? Oh, I mean, outside of like
outside of 2018, which had 50 music videos.
That's different. Yeah.
But no,
that's
they
different.
always just do one.
Yeah, that's why it'd be nice. I mean, like, maybe they'll promote that. Maybe they'll promote Replay alongside regular when they do their rounds on the Korean music shows. But yeah, I'd just be so happy if they gave this the proper music video treatment and everything.
Yeah. Next is Knock On. Speaking of SHINee, this is definitely another song that gives off SHINee vibes. The vocal styles are just like straight out of SHINee's playbook. And it's just like a really chill song. So yeah, I definitely liked this song a lot too.
Yeah, again, just their vocals are to die for. Seriously,
Yep.
Again, I just love how, like, so far, at least, so far in the album, no two songs have sounded alike, which I do pray. And some people are kind of like, oh, they like groups staying with a particular sound, but I do love that, again, that experimental or willingness to experiment and give different sounds for this one group. So, which is why I guess there's an element, there's a freshness to them, even though it's just otherwise it would sound like a standard sounding R&B track, but just there's something about when NCT 127 does it that just definitely new or unique to it. So I do really appreciate that aspect.
Quick note, they performed Comeback as their other song.
Oh, come on. Replay needs love. There's gonna be so many people that aren't gonna listen to that song.
It also confused the hell out of me because I was like, yes, it's their comeback. What
Comeback.
song did they perform? Well, it just said Comeback. I was like, yeah, it's their comeback. What's the song? And I was like, oh yeah, this song called Comeback.
So for Knock On, I really enjoyed this because this like went just dove right into the R&B style, and like Andrew said, like their vocals are so good on this song. I think in particular Jaehyun, I think his vocals stood out the most for me. And I think his vocal performance was really, really great on the song. Like, not that the other members weren't really amazing as well. His voice stood out the most for me.
You know, I'm just realizing we probably all like this song because it's essentially NCT 127 doing a Velvet track, if you really think about it.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's definitely why we like it.
Speaking of songs we like, next is No Longer. So now two of my favorite NCT songs are ballads. I don't know if I like it better than the Station song. I can never remember the name of that song. Cooper and Victoria will correct me. What is that? Do you remember, Jacob? The Station ballad?
The You Station song?
That was on 2018. Yeah, Timeless, that's right.
Oh, it's Timeless?
It is Timeless, I think, yeah.
I didn't realize that was a Station song.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was a Station song. And it was because it was only 3 of them.
Yeah, I love Timeless. I think it's a great song.
Yeah, so that was like one of, if not my favorite NCT song, and now we have No Longer, which is another one of, if not my favorite NCT songs. They need to make NCT the ballad right now, because
NCT the ballad. I love
that.
Yeah,
exactly.
That should be the name.
They should just call it NCT the ballad. But yeah, the vocals, the instrumentals, just like literally everything about the song is amazing. Like, there's nothing wrong with this song at all. Like,
nothing.
It's one of the best ballads of the year by far.
Oh, like we kind of need to amend our like ballad / acoustic of the year something, so that we can include groups that do ballad tracks as opposed to just exclusively ballad singers, because this needs some type of recognition. Because
just do ballad song of the year.
Yeah, basically, because I mean,
yeah, we should.
There's an all-star production team on this between freaking Andreas Oberg and his usual crew of people and freaking Esna. So there's
I bet Esna was the one singing on the demo. I guarantee
100%. And you can tell like, you can feel Esna on this track because, again, she, for those who don't know, aren't familiar with Esna, she's worked with like Mamamoo prior to sort of being a freelance and working with some type SM artists from time to time, and her like musical background is jazz, and just it just oozes like this jazzy vibe. Again, just how they sort of orchestrate the stand up bass and the like the soft brushes. They lay down the beat very just very subtly, whereas the piano just does a very good job of following the melody and the vocal line just so well. And I'm just blown away by the. I made this tweet where I literally just said that, like, if you told me that NCT 127 was gonna make one of the best ballads of the year, I would have laughed at you so much. Like, cause NCT 127 of all groups,
they made Fire Truck.
Yeah, they made Fire Truck, and now they're putting out like the best ballad. You kidding me? I don't know. Yeah. I was just floored when I first listened to this song, and I'm very rarely just taken aback when it comes to like anything K-pop, because very rarely is anything just like groundbreaking or new at this point. But
I didn't get that because I saw you listened to it before me, and I saw your tweets and stuff. But yeah, just hearing it, I knew what to expect because Timeless is so good.
Yeah.
That I was like really expecting it to be good, but it was still better than I thought it. I expected it to be.
And I just wanted to say I'm just really happy with just like, you could definitely see the progression that all of the NCT like subunits have made over the past like 2 or 3 years. Just they've definitely become more well-rounded than they were when, like, again, they're not sort of like boxing them into one sort of style, which again it's only going to help them become better musicians and better artists in the long run.
Yeah, so like you guys pretty much said everything I wanted to say, though. Like, really what stands out is they're very good at their, I guess, emotional delivery of, you know, the notes, the you know, the melody, the lyrics. Everything just comes out very you know, again, just sincere. Like, I feel like that's one thing that SM artists again like excel at. Like, you know, Taeyeon, Jonghyun, they have many singers like Baekhyun, Luna. Yeah, like they all have very good you know, singers who are very good at, you know, I guess giving it their own personal I guess appeal to it. So yeah, I thought this song turned out amazing.
Yep. Next we have Interlude, Regular to Irregular. So this is just like, it's literally an interlude. The instrumentals are pretty cool. It goes from being like just strings and like it's almost like poetry into this like weird, cool hip hop beat. Like, I liked it at least. But yeah, there's not too much to say. It's not a full song or anything.
Not even joking. This might be my favorite song on the entire album, period. No, because it's so cool. Okay, it's produced by Hitchhiker, the guy that makes all like the crazy shit.
That explains everything.
That explains everything.
I was like, it was like a poetry ballad that goes into this weird experimental hip hop beat.
Yeah, I'm just like, oh my god, this is awesome. Just like that really like emotional like piano ballads part, which I love because they're all speaking in their like native languages and everything. So you're hearing like Korean, like Chinese, like Japanese, all that sort of stuff. So it sounds like straight up like an anime like soundtrack or like something out of an anime or whatever. It's just like super emotional. Again, it's a great track that follows No Longer. Again, just going back to how Jacob was talking about like the emotion that they sort of deliver on this, and just like the simplicity of it, despite the simplicity of it, literally like the instrumental of that section just literally just being a piano and a violin, there's just so much emotion and build up despite there being like no lyrics and all. And I'm just like, man, this is awesome. And I don't know if how much I need to like throw at their Patreon, but this definitely seems like something that the React to the K guys can do a cover of, because it's almost just like an instrumental track. The transition's insane. It's just like all these like backwards vocals and like weird like instrumental sounds and everything. It's just so creative. And again, I like they're going for like this entire like concept about like, I don't know, just like dreams and all that sort of thing, and just like you could definitely I love the theming of this entire album, to be completely honest. So it's just really cool to see them do this interlude, honestly.
Yeah, honestly, this is one of my favorite tracks in the album as well, just because I feel like if you want to show somebody what the album is like, you can kind of just show them this interlude.
That's true. You could.
It's just emotional ballads and then like hip hop. So
yeah, like basically. Also the name like regular to irregular, it kind of like captures.
Yeah,
the,
it fit really well.
Like, yeah, like the
actual sound,
the actual concept of the album. And yeah, like the all the talking and over the piano, which then sort of blends into this electronic beat towards the end. I thought it was a really, really cool and also like really seamless transition. So yeah.
Yep. Next we have My Van, which is so this is another hip hop song. This is a piano focused instrumental. Honestly, I think this is the weakest song on the album by far. The chorus is like pretty meh, and the verses are just okay. Like I think it's some of their weaker verses too. So that's what I was saying. Like the hip hop songs in this album were the most disappointing parts of the album, where like everything else was so much better. Which is just not what you'd expect from NCT.
I actually like this one just solely for the fact of its positioning, that it kind of feels like a sonical extension of regular to irregular. Just it's kind of got that quiet sort of vibe, but there's just like these random ass like sonar pings going on in the background, is sort of like laying down the beat and everything. It's just a really cool song instrumentally, despite even if the rapping is sort of just like lackluster to some degree. I do really appreciate the uniqueness of the instrumentals that they decided to go for on this one.
For me, I didn't mind the rap. I thought the beat was really annoying.
So that's why we have three completely different perspectives.
Tick. That's it.
I didn't notice the instrumentals at all because I didn't like the rapping that much. I was so focused on like this was pretty mediocre rapping.
I didn't notice the rapping because I was just so focused on the instrumentals.
And then Jacob liked the rapping and hated the instrumentals.
Like
go fish.
Like it's just, I don't know, they were just annoying to me. Like
yeah,
like it's like watching freaking Peter Pan and the crocodiles coming behind you. I'm like, dude, like no.
Tick tock tick.
Yeah,
but really fast. Tick 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 tick. Or no, like the rabbit in Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah, I was just saying you're thinking of the rabbit. Yeah. Okay, next is Comeback. So this is a Korean version of the song from Chain. And like usual for me, the original sounds normal and something sounds off with this version. So I would prefer listening to the version I've heard
Japanese version
a lot more. But it's such a fantastic song anyway that like it's not bad. It's just I'm used to the Japanese version, so it tripped me up hearing the Korean version.
Yeah, I mean that was sort of the same way when Soshi released Talk Talk, or I forget what the original Japanese.
Yeah, Marepa. It's what's it called? Hold on a second.
I forget.
Boomerang.
Yeah, Boomerang.
Boomerang.
But,
okay.
Yeah, I didn't mind necessarily the change. Because I just really love this song, and again, I feel like this one definitely encompasses the is this NCT or SHINee mentality that we have going throughout the entire album, and it's not surprising that we never got to review Chain, unfortunately. I think we just kind of skipped it. But I guess I'd say just like it's not a surprise that they went with this kind of song for a Japanese release, considering how popular SHINee was over there. So yeah, I still enjoyed it.
Considering considering it's just a rehash of Shane, like honestly, I think I do like the Korean version better. And like if I didn't take into consideration that it's just like a remake of a song we've already heard, this would probably be my favorite on the album. Like overall, like I really, really love this style, and I think the production, I think the I think the Korean lyrics actually work really well, so I'll probably start listening to this version instead. So yeah,
it's a pretty seamless transition. It's not as jarring as what we're thinking about with Regular's English and Korean versions.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Hey, and don't get me wrong, most of my comments sounded negative because I was saying I prefer the Japanese version, but I love this song regardless.
I think also another thing is I can understand a significantly more than amount of Korean than I can Japanese. So like
I'm the opposite. That's why.
Like as K-pop fans, we're always like, why do you need to understand the entire song? It's not that we don't like to hear it. It's that it doesn't matter as much as people make it out to be.
So Nate, you're gonna yell at me if I listen to the Korean version as opposed to the Japanese version because it's the wrong version.
It's the original version.
Okay.
Is the thing you should listen to, and you listen to the wrong versions.
I listened to both
of Soshi and Uju Sonyo songs. Next we have Fly Away, and this kind of closes the book on Shiny-esque songs.
Yeah.
This is once again another like the vocals are like straight out of Shiny's style. I really like the subtle guitar in this song. That stood out. It didn't stand out to me because it's subtle, but it caught my ear. And so I definitely enjoyed that part of this song.
I'd say the vocals were the only thing I really liked necessarily, but it just kind of pales in comparison to the other amazing like vocal showcases we got on the album. So it kind of seems redundant to a degree. So yeah, that's all I really have to say.
Yeah, for me, I actually like the song quite a bit. I looked at it more as like a pop song than a ballad, personally.
Okay.
Like, so yeah, like I thought the chorus was catchy. I thought the vocals were great. I think they've definitely proven themselves on this album with that kind of thing.
Yep.
All the members really, like, because on Empathy we more heard from like the actual like vocalists, and on this we actually got to hear I guess more vocal prowess from the rest of the members. So yeah, I'm glad we got a lot of these more vocal heavy songs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this song actually didn't have the rappers in it at all, I don't think.
Yeah, I don't.
Oh, really?
It didn't have a rap.
Yeah,
it
didn't have a rap break whatsoever.
So unless they're saying, I don't know all their voices. So
I just figured they all sang.
Yeah, maybe.
They
Let
might.
us know in the comments, by the way.
But yeah, there was no rap at all for the song, which was interesting.
Yeah.
And finally, we have Run Back to You. So for this song, I really like the rap parts and I really like the chorus. But the first drop is like not great, and that really annoying synth sound does not need to be in the song.
Yeah.
It ruins the song. Like, this song could be so good if that wasn't in there. And that's what, like, the first drop's not really good, but then the second drop, that goes away and it's a lot better. Like, that the song itself is so good if that synth wasn't there.
Yeah, the instrumentals in that section were just a mess, just because it's too distracting. But which otherwise would have been a great song. But yeah, just sort of, it's a miss.
Yeah, for me, it was like, it's just kind of like, I didn't mind the drop. I thought that actually turned out like kind of fine. I think I didn't like the sections before that with like the rattlesnaking hi-hats, like. I can't really do it like this.
Yeah, you don't like that.
Like I just can't.
Trap
It's just
hi-hat.
it distracts me from the rest of the song, and it's just like annoying to me. But I do like the chorus. However, like after the chorus where it just like goes into the deep voice sort of part, I wasn't really crazy about. Felt like a little cheesy, I guess, in my opinion. So yeah, this one's also kind of a miss for me as well.
Yeah. Okay. That's it. So we will do our score now. So for me, despite the fact that I thought the rap song like Regular and My Van were like pretty meh, I gave it a 6 out of 6 for music because almost everything else on the album was just utterly amazing. And then I gave it a 2 out of 3 for concept because it doesn't feel like a 10 out of 10 because it's kind of weird because it's like I'm merging my points because of different reasons, but like it's a 9 out of 10. It's not a 10 out of 10, but it's partially because of the concept and partially because of the rap songs. So it would be like a 5.5 and a 2.5. And then a 1 for bias point, obviously. So 9 out of 10 overall.
Yeah.
I gave same score, just flipped the points around because while I did enjoy it, it's not a perfect album musically. However, I did really enjoy the music video and the choreography, and this album cover is just sick. So I really enjoyed that. So I had to give it a perfect score on that end, and obviously I'm giving it a bias point because I love NCT. So yeah, surprisingly, I did not expect to give this a higher score than what I gave to 2018 Empathy. So I
gave 2018 an 8?
Yeah, I gave. I remember.
I think I gave it a 10. I think.
I gave it a 10 too.
Yeah, I gave the lowest score when it came to Empathy, but I'm surprised at how much I ended up enjoying this album. Just because, at first I was just like, oh, I'm not a big fan of Regular, and then I was just blown away by the album tracks. Though I do say, I'd like for it to be maybe a bit more like spread out or balanced, because it would be just in terms of the music. The first half definitely just sort of blew everything away, while the second half was kind of a bit lackluster. So I would like more balance in that sort of sense. But otherwise, it's a great album, and it's definitely it's NCT 127. It's one of NCT 127's best albums just in general. So.
Yeah, so for me, I gave it a 5 out of 6 for music. I like the songs I really liked. The songs I liked, I really, really loved. And then the songs I didn't like, I was like, this is kind of annoying. I don't want to listen to this ever again, sort of thing.
Yeah.
So I gave it a 5 out of 6 just because, despite not liking the songs I didn't like quite a bit, the songs I did like, I really loved a lot. So I didn't want to take off too many points for that. And then concept, I gave a 2 out of 3. I do really love the album art, and I think like for example, like I've seen their stage outfits. I think they look pretty cool. And though the music video was kind of just like, it didn't really blow me away or anything, so I gave it a 2 out of 3 for concept, and then 1 out of 1 so for bias point. So I gave it an 8.
Yep. So I
just feel
a 9.
Well, yeah. Okay. I just feel like Empathy was a lot better than this. However, I do think that the songs on here are like fantastic and definitely deserve a listen. So I still recommend it highly.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like, some of the songs on this album are above Empathy, but like overall the quality of Empathy is a little bit better. I agree with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so 998 is a 9, so it does get truly Daebak seal of approval.
Shiny.
And it is shiny. It is very. There's a lot of shiny.
It is very
shiny about this.
If you enjoy Shiny, you will very much enjoy this.
If you're a fan of Shiny and you don't really listen to NCT because you're not into hip hop or whatever, check this album out. It's very good.
Yep.
His willingness to make fun of himself and put himself in like compromising situations that no other artist would ever think of putting themselves in. Like this isn't really spoilers because it's literally like revealed in like the first like 5 minutes of the first episode. But the entire concept of the show is that he gets assigned to the future strategy office as punishment because